Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to make 2 more key rings. These 2 are going to be using SoftFlex Design Challenge Kit book lovers, and they're going to be, well, there's no books on them, but they're still going to be really pretty little bookmarks, I think. So let's turn down and we'll get to work on them. So I've cut 2 inches, well, not 2 inches, 2 pieces of wire. I didn't measure this, I just cut it. So let's see about how long I cut the wire. It's a little over 4 inches. A lot of times when I make these, I just take an old head pin and cut the head off, and so then I have a 3-inch piece of wire. I wanted to make sure I had enough wire on these, so I have dumped this one bunch out, and I've already made the loop on this one wire. I will make sure that I do the second one on camera, but my camera had turned off and I hadn't noticed, so I'd already got this done. So here you want to hold this here, take a second pair of pliers, unless you prefer to do this by hand, which some people do. I don't. I think I have more control with the pliers. Then I'm going to get out of the way charm, wrap this up like 3 times. And the charm is getting in the way, so it's going a little lower than I would normally like it to be. So I'm going to rearrange this to get my last loop in. And then I'm probably going to adjust our wires here. And I'll show you what I mean by that in just a second. Now we're going to cut this wire off. The extra, being careful not to get anything else other than that wire in there, and then we're going to tuck that in. Now when I say I'm going to adjust the wire, is what I mean is, see how that's up a bit? I'm going to take and put my pliers in the loop, come on babies, and then get the other side of the wire and push down. And you might need to do that on both sides just to make sure that you have a consistent loop. Now I'm going to straighten this because it's a little crooked. And there we go. There's our charm on. But this is still sticking out a little bit, my tuck. That's better. So now we'll put our beads on, and I'm going to start with this tiny daisy spacer. Go to the bigger daisy spacer. We're going to hit the bottom there. Then we're going to put this barrel bead, this big spacer here. This is, I think, called a star spacer because it's got its arms a little different than this freeform arm space, the spacer here, and then our other barrel bead. And I got one of my hairs in here, and then the 2 daisy spacers. Now see how that one's done so far. Now we're just going to take and we're going to bend this over, get our bell making pliers in here, up and over and around, bring it down, bring it over with a little gap there, and bring her up some so she lollipops. Then we're going to stick this split ring in here. And then we'll grab our loops like we would normally. Oops, I almost dropped it there. Other pair of pliers. Bring her around. Okay, I obviously loosened my hold when I almost dropped it because it almost fell off. And it looks like we're only going to get 3 wraps in here, and that's fine. That's plenty. We'll cut the loop, the last bit of wire off, and tuck it in. Now for the last part for this particular key ring, all we have to do now is put it on our big split ring. And I usually do this with my thumb, but as I was showing folks the other when we made our last bunch on our live, I have a pair of split ring pliers. See how this has this little, you just put this in the split like that and push it apart, and then you can push your piece on it, and you can either just now push it around like so, or you could have even revolved your split ring pliers around to get that on. So there is number 1 all done. So now we'll go on to number 2, and here is its wire. So all its little goodies that I have chosen for it. We are going to put a moon on this one, and then these lintels are going to go above with this little guy here, and below. Uh-oh, oh, there you are. I was going to say, where's my other spacer? So there, that's how we're going to do that one. So let's get it started. So we'll, of course, bend our wire, get our bell making pliers, or your round nose pliers if you prefer. Go up and over and around, drop this down, bring it over, leave a gap, and then swing it up just a little bit so you get more of the lollipop shape. If you don't, it's going to be over to the side. So there we have our moon on now. So I will take hold where the rings, where the 2 wires come together at the base of the ring here. And this charm is getting in the way, but we'll see if we can work around it somewhat. Now we'll take our second pair of pliers, or if you prefer fingers, just go ahead and use your fingers. And then we will do 3 wraps here. Let's see which way our wrap is facing now. So we do need to go a little bit more. So we'll bring this the rest of the way around to this side. I prefer to have my end of my wire to the back if at all possible. And now we'll tuck that baby in. And straighten her up, because see how I've crookeded it there? So we don't want it crooked if we can help it. So we straighten her a little bit. And now what we're going to do is the first daisy spacer, bing, on the bottom. And now 5 of the lintels. And their hole is off to one side. Oh, come on, I tested you when you went on before. Why aren't you going on now? There we go. Come on, go all the way down. The wire obviously has a slight bend with these beads with tiny holes. Sometimes they don't want to go past a bend, so you have to sort of convince them to. And if you can't convince them to, then you'll have to straighten your wire somewhat. And if you can't straighten your wire, you'll have to go to a smaller gauge of wire. Now see, some of that one went on really well. Now, as you can see, there's weirdness here, so what we want to do is just sort of play with it until it sort of sinks together here. Usually that's by swinging every other one to a different way of being, like it just did. So see, there you go. So now we want this daisy spacer, this pretty check glass bead, the other daisy spacer, and our next 5 lintels. Come on, you, go on. Now I do have extra of these lentils if one of these decides it doesn't want to go on, and that one is acting like it won't. And that one went straight on. Isn't that funny how that works sometimes? You think a bead should have all the same bead holes, but they don't always. Okay, so since those other two did not want to go on, I'm going to have to get 2 more out of my bag, and we'll get those right now. Okay, I've got the other lentils. Now some of these are, in fact, most of these that are remaining are translucent. Oh, it looks like I have about 5 or 6 that are the solid. That one went straight on, as did this one. So now these are going to have to get used for something else, obviously. I love this little tray. It's great for picking up beads like that. And if you don't have one, I would advise getting one. I think they are superb, and they are so helpful when you need to pick up a bunch of little beads off your mat. So anyway, we've got those on. Now we'll put our last spacer on, and we'll get our lentils flipped the way they need to go to behave. Come on. There we go. And now we want to put this onto our little jump ring. So we put it in, bend, pliers, on and over and around, bring her down, bring her over, leave a small gap, and even it out. See, now I didn't even it that much, and it's over to one side. So we want to go back in and twist her up so that she's more of a lollipop shape, like so. Now we'll put our split ring on, and I did not leave much gap. See how it's barely got a gap there? So we need to take it and open it some, just like you would if you were using getting a jump ring on. Oh, come on, you go. There we go. Now we'll push our wires back together with our pliers here. Get our second pair of pliers. Wrap this baby up. Now I'm going to check my lentils to see that they're good before I stop wrapping, because since they were moved a little bit, they didn't seem to need as many wraps, but they did. So now we'll tuck this baby in, and there she is, ready to go on the key ring. And again, like I say, this is a split ring plier. It's got a regular, like a needle nose on this side, or chain nose, as the case may be. And then this side has that little tiny notch. And you just take this and put it in the ring. And I'm going the wrong way. Well, for me anyway, I like to start it that way. And then put the big part underneath, put the little tooth through the 2 ply pieces, so you make a gap, and then you just bring this on. And you can just wiggle this around to bring this up, but you don't need to, because once this is on, all you got to do is slide it. So there is key ring number 2. Now all the beads are from my kit. However, the rings and the charms are from my personal stash. And the spacers. Well, not all the spacers. These 2 big spacers here in the middle here are from the kit. So there we go. So here we go. Here is the one with the Montana charm on it. Now, I make these ones with the Montanas mainly because we get a lot of tourists here in the area I'm at, and a lot of them want to buy something with Montana on it. And so, if you are from a state and you're making these to sell at a craft fair or whatever, my advice is to see if you can find some of your state little charms with your state emblem on them, or state shape, however you want to call it, and get some of those for making for your craft fairs. So, and there is the one with the little moon and the lintels. Isn't that cute? So anyway, again, as I say, all of these beads, as well as the spacers, the bigger spacers on the Montana one, are from SoftFlex Design Challenge Kit book lovers. And the big split rings, well, I think that I got the little split rings too. I got these at Walmart in bulk packs. So something to think about if you want to make them. If you're not one of those people that won't go to Walmart for whatever reason, like I say, I get them in a big bulk pack from Walmart, as well as the little ones too. Lots of them. And there's like 3 or 4 different sizes in there too, so that's always nice. So anyway, those are our key rings made from our SoftFlex Design Challenge Kit, book lovers. Hope you enjoyed making those with me. We'll see you later. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden. Bye-bye.